Hello! Hello and welcome everyone to tonight's live stream. Okay, why is it louder than I remember? Yeah, maybe I changed some in the audio mixings. Anyways, yes, hello and welcome to tonight's definitely last week Sunday's live stream that I was definitely in a perfectly fine condition to do and record, and there was nothing happening in the background that could have stopped me from doing that. Yes, of course. Alright, let me very quickly do all of the things I have to do before starting to draw anything. Hello? Romido? So, the plan for today is fairly simple, as I have written on the Patreon post earlier today. So we'll be doing a reference art / concept art for the Dromaeosaur for my horror game that is still in production, just slowed down. And the other thing we'll be doing after either 1 hour or I finish the reference art, though I don't think I will finish it, is we'll be doing Midnight Call, as usually. I've also just posted, I mean not just, but like posted a day or two ago, hello, Mitri. I've posted the... No, not a day or two ago. What am I saying? Today. I posted the 5th page on my Patreon, which is for free. So you can go check it out there. And yeah, later on we'll be doing page 6. So that probably will be like early starting processes. So... what's it called? Early starting processes, so doing layouts, the writing of the text in speed bubbles, and maybe start some lining. I mean, probably, because that doesn't take as long, but... Alright. Let me just repost the link to the live stream. Alright, let me just finish up sending out the links, and I'll be starting to draw real quick. Alright, who can I send the link to? I guess the usual suspects. So what else? I've posted here, I've posted there, I've reposted everywhere. One more place. Alright, everything is done. Jeez. Yep. Hello, Jay. Alright, I need more reference material first, because I have a little bit of a couple things gathered from my work document for the game, but I need more reference material. So I've found some pretty good. I played a game today earlier with some pretty good Utahraptor models and textures. So I probably might throw that in as reference. I probably might. I mean, I will in a moment. Let's see. Utahraptor Path of Fights. It's a mod, not an official thing, but they still look very good. You can play them on some custom community servers. Yeah, pretty good. This is essentially the quality I'm going for when it comes to the 3D model I'll be making, and oh well, that will be difficult. Also the Utahraptor by Riccardo Frappuccini, which is an absolute peak of art. Like, it looks like an eagle head, just with a raptor face. And I love it. I love it for that. Cursed. What I have stumbled on is cursed. Let's see. What raptor was the thing supposed to be? I know I was doing a hybrid where it was supposed to have the markings and general shape of a different dromaeosaur, while also using the size of the Utahraptor. Do I have a note of that somewhere? Not really. Oh well. Alright, let's start. So one thing that will be different tonight, outside of my normal drawing, is I'm doing a reference image for my 3D modeling. So it's going to be slightly different because of that. And first thing is I need to get a human scene, which then I'll use to scale the model correctly for the game. So let's say human wet, and we'll just drop in some generic silhouette from some stock image site or something. I'll probably draw them myself. Can I make a silhouette myself with one of the images I have? Let's see. I'm going to publish this image later on my DeviantArt. I don't want to use things that I do not own, or do not have the right to use. Oh, this is pretty good. Yeah, this is not like normal human shape, but it's pretty good. So let's grab this, let's turn off the background and the little weird details. Yeah, sure, whatever. Let's grab you now. And the raptor will be about head height, so let's place him here. I'll also have to have the raptor frontally towards the camera, so that will be a thing. Oh yeah, one more thing. Shazam. We have a silhouette now. Let's actually make him a bit grayer. Yep, that's better. Alright. So yeah, that's everything we need. Time to start drawing. Actually, there's one more thing. I want to place this line here saying what height he is. So this will be 1.8 meters. This is just about the forehead, so if I want the raptor to be the correct size, then it will be like around this-ish tall. Let me just set up that guiding line. Now, any other measurements I should have into account. The bottom of the body is slightly below the crotch, so like around here-ish. Yeah, and the rest I'll figure out. So let's just grab those two lines and throw them into a different layer. So I can throw the keyboard to the side. Got my wrist. I've been writing the whole day. Outside of also playing games with my friends, and my wrist for my keyboard hand, which I use slightly less than my drawing hand, is absolutely sore on my desk. Or not really sore, it's itchy. But I haven't gotten blisters yet, so that's good. Alright. Let's start this show. I want it fully horizontally because this is in the reference image for a 3D model, so the straighter it is, the better. So this will be in its T pose, or their A pose in this case. Alright, then the neck. Rather than the neck, we'll do the torso. Looking for the structure of the arms somewhere. back legs, the hind legs. Yeah, no, that's too short. So the upper part should be larger. Of course, can't forget the massive hip bone. Now the tail. To hereish. I feel like the distance between the arms and the head and the leg, the hind legs are just a little too short. And there are also the tail feathers. Oh, I know what is wrong in my version. The front, this part here, is too low. That's what's creating this weird like offset. Like it looks like a Spinosaurus. Nope, there is a just thing here. So it does go like that. Alright, and now I have to just improve the face. First, let's lighten this thing here. Lol. Yeah, this is more or less the shape. So we've been back at it with the Ready or Not challenge recently, and we've made some good progress. We're like 60 to 70% done with the original campaign. So that after that, it leaves like 6 extra missions from the DLCs. Though I'll be honest, I get a feeling that the missions now are going to take way longer to actually finish. I'm not sure where I get this feeling from, but I get just this weird feeling. Now for the plumage, I should probably... Oh yeah, outlines with feathers. Yeah, feathers. So one area of the feathers is attached to the upper arm here. I'm gonna mark it myself with some color. Then there is another area. And then there is the last area, which is the largest. For feathers on the arms. Yeah, more or less something like that. The line where the plumage changes is like here. muscle here, then there's another here, a muscle here. This is the knee. Now what happens here? I need to look at the anatomy of something. When in doubt, dog. Small muscles here. Then we have the cap here. Some more tendons. Let's just add a bigger muscle here. Some smaller ones. And then there are tendons again. And yada yada yada. As for the arms, to up-muscle them a bit. So there's the joint, then we have the bone goes like this, kinda. Did they add an extra part that doesn't exist? Yeah, I added an extra part of the body that doesn't exist. Yeah, the tip of the day. Doing anatomy makes you notice problems you did not notice you had before. You made before. Errors, problems, like that. So this is the point where the thing starts. So this also deletes those. I mean, those feathers can still be here somewhat. Like just connect to the armpit. So this here are just muscles that connect to the neck. Here part essentially. Now back to drawing the bone. So it's like here, and then we have two bones. The longer bone, the thicker bone rather, and we have the straight bone. And then we have the thingies that are more or less what I drew already, so I don't have to do anything over them. Now, part is just muscles here. Yeah, when they contract, they pull it in that direction. So that should work, more or less. And then in the other direction, you have another set of. Pyramid, we're going to make me pull out the skeletal remains of a dromaeosaur. Alright, I'll do it in a sec. The tail should be probably way thicker because that was used as a counterweight for the rest of the body. At least as far as we know. Like, that thing was way up high when this thing was running. Alright, let's pull up the skeleton. A reference image from Mitosku on DeviantArt, because imagine that most museums pose their skeletons, which makes it harder to use them as reference. I know, what a interesting concept. Well, at least I got the size of the thing almost spot on. Alright, I see where might be the problem. So I'll do this on a different layer so that it's easier for me to see with like a brighter color. So there's the hips here. The spine goes more or less like this. Too high. And we have this thing here. That's a really interesting shoulder shape, not gonna lie. That was a good suggestion, not medium pyramid though. I don't know how I could misspell your name like that. Let me look up another reference for a moment. Oh, we have a newer one from Scott Hartman. Like a drawing. Based on what we actually have of the skeleton of the Utahraptor, alright? Because, like, fun fact, according to Wikipedia, this is what we have when it comes to the skeletal remains of a Utahraptor. Which is actually quite a bit. Like, we may not have full skeletons, but this is well more than enough to guess the actual, like, size. Since we know what genus it is part of, so we can more or less approximate. Alright, I think I know what might be the problem with this part here. it's too long. This thing here should be like, give me a moment, no, this is sketch. Like this long. And then this foot goes onto this. Yep. And now I have to scale everything else so that it fits. I might have over-exaggerated the talents a tad bit, but well, I'm doing this for a horror game, so might as well. Anyways, let me just correct the sketch now, so that everything is correct, and then I'll scale it up. And this is where the eye is located. Now, the rest of the neck is fine. The problem starts here. So this thing doesn't exist. What we have instead is this line here. This is too small. Another thing is there is a chance that by the next week's live stream we'll have a new music track, and we might start the next live stream with just a listen along to it, because I have commissioned a musician to make a essentially trailer song for Midnight Call. It cost me a little bit of money, but hopefully it will be fine. Like, I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I really want to hear it, but I'll let him cook. I know that the artist is pretty good. I like their songs. So, and I've seen them do commission work before, so I have high hopes. You know, for the tail, as I said, the tail needs to be thicker and a tad bit longer. Oh yeah, this thing goes like this. It will be, as far as I know, the style, it will be a dark synthwave thing, and yeah, it will be it will have some noir features to it. Because I've talked a bit about the potential lyrics for the song, and well, I do actually have the demo for it, like the first 30 seconds of the instrumental, at least the unfinished version of that. I could play it right now. I'll just check if I didn't agree to anything saying that I can't. Oh! Nice! Just got an email that my package oh god, when did I order it? Like a month ago. Is finally on the way. I'll finally be able to make my demonic Commander Farsight model. Finally. Oh, good thing I checked my email. Anyways, where's my mail chain? Alright. So, in a moment I'll play you the demo, and if you can guess who's the musician behind it, I don't know, you can pick the main color for the Tremiosaur. Let's see. Some details. Alright. So is everyone ready for the to have a listen to the demo? I'll play it twice. Just waiting for some sort of confirmation in the comments. And for the answer, I'll wait like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Yeah, they said I can do whatever I want with the demo, so yeah. I mean, also, I have 5 viewers at the moment, if not 4, so I doubt it's going to cause any problems. And if it will, then oh well, I've already paid them, so not like they can go back on it. Alright. I'll be playing the demo now. So yeah, better take a listen to it. Alright, and I'll play it again. Alright, so that's the demo I got. We'll go back to the stream music now. well, yeah, it has a very specific sound to it. And I'll be back in a moment. Thanks, I think so too. As I said, I'm really excited to hear the full version. Especially since it will have vocals. And I've had some very specific requests of what the vocals I want to be about. So, yeah, there will be some Midnight Cold Deep lore, let's say. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, my dog should be calm for a bit of time. So, did we have any suggestions for what the artist behind the track is? In the meantime, I don't see any. Alright, so... yeah, fuck it, I'll just say it. The artist is Stringstorm. And their specialty normally is symphonic metal, but as you just heard, they are capable of a bunch of different things. So, and quite capable at that, I'd say. So, yeah. They told me that I should expect it within like a week. Let's say I'm giving them a month. Because, you know, things can take a turn, as I have experienced numerous times. So, yeah, this should be fine, more or less. Alright. Yeah, this looks better. Can't exactly say where the center of mass for this thing is, but I get a feeling it's somewhere around here at the moment. Which is fine, because this is just the T-pose. Normally it would be walking with its head held a bit upright. So, you know, actually when it walks, it's not fully horizontal. So it moves its center of mass backwards. So this is fine. Hello, new people that just joined. Alright, let me just rescale it now so that it's the actual proper size that it should be. Rather so that it touches the ground. Alright. Yeah, that's a fairly large boy. If you saw that running towards you, I think you'd be pretty scared, pretty terrified, pretty spooked, I'd even say. This goes more like this, from what I know. Like, not gonna lie, the dinosaurs were not cutting down on pancakes. They were eating a lot of them. Alright. And markings for plumage. Did I add everything? I have the tail, I have this thing. I'll add some more markings for the decorative stuff. So decorative stuff I'll mark in green. I want to copy some parts of this look, so let's say... Let's give it like a sort of brow plumage. Darker because I can't see it. With singular larger feathers at the ends. And this leaves a bunch of smaller featheritos around. Well, I guess it really depends on what artist is depicting the dinosaur, but it's either like that or like this. Unless you're talking about a different collection, a different band. That's what I'm referring to. Oh yeah, and there was also another thing that I noticed when I was watching the Prehistoric Planet documentary, which is beautiful peacock-like tail feathers. And while they won't be that visible, I want to add them. So let me just copy this tail, throw it onto here, and add that there is a singular longer feather goes like this. Yep. And that will look really nice. And that would look even better when in darkness with shadows. Because you see this thing hiding behind, for example, some pillar, and the only thing you can see is its tail. So having that shape would throw you off just a little bit. Especially in the darkness of that place. Like, I have some test renders that I can show of the wrapper game. And probably that will be enough of the Raptor for now, because we've already passed an hour of the stream, so I'll be switching to Midnight Call, but yeah. At least I'm done with like something for this model. I also have to do the frontal side, and I'll have to do some total texturing, but yep. Let me just find the Raptor stuff. And then we'll go to the other thing. Also, is the audio mixing fine, or should I make the music quieter? Like today I'm quite a bit louder than normally, because I can afford to be louder. So yeah. Alright, I have some render prototypes. So when we're talking about camera images, for example, so let's say you're like, this is what the images look like for that game. A little quieter, alright. I've made it a little bit quieter as the music was ending, so I might have made it that too quiet. I'll increase it. Alright, that should be fine. Now I'm on my like sound mixer. I'm louder than the music, so that should be fine. That should be okay. Alright, so anyways, this is like one of the images, and yeah, like, it's pretty dark. Like, it's brighter now because I added lights above doorways so that you can see where you're clicking when you're going, because the idea for the gameplay is that outside of, because this is essentially a FNAF style Defend the Office game, but with the twist that to actually end the night you have to go outside of your office to close the Dromaeosaur monster inside of the cage that it escaped. And well, you can do parts of that process from the cameras, some of the most effective parts. The final deed will probably, after like night 1 or 2, will probably have to be done via manually walking outside of the office and doing it yourself. But you still have to set up a situation where you can afford to go outside of the office and do that yourself, because otherwise you're going to stumble into the Raptor in the corridors, and that's not going to be a very fun time now, is it? So yeah, I really like that one. Like, that's an image from there is a broken glass window here, which looks really cool. I mean, right now it looks kind of crap because of me not understanding how rendering works, so the light sources are those blobs in reflections. But yeah. Also, the camera images are brighter because there's an integrated camera flashlight going on. But they still look pretty cool. Oh yeah, those are the doorways that I was speaking of. Oh yeah, also there was an idea of doing the images, instead of images doing just videos, but that got abandoned fairly quickly because of A, the amount of time it took to render them, and B, the fact of how many animations and animation transitions there would need to be for it to work as intended. So yeah, we're back to the pictures. We're back to the FNAF classic. But yeah, that was the short side tangent about my video game that I am working on in the background. Alright. So I need to throw in some stuff from the manga. Why not call? Let's see, we're doing page 6 today. So that's this page here. So it's Calvin looking at Eve after she asks who, in reference to Alexios. Then him turning around saying forget it, and then saying that, yeah, you know, just I didn't like shouting at you those obscenities. So yeah, should be it's the same amount of heads, so it shouldn't be fairly simple, it will be just as painful as this page. But, well, what does my motto on my DeviantArt say? It's all about the stories we tell, so it is all about that. Too large. I mean, the truly difficult page will be the next one, because that's where Eve is hugging Calvin's arm. And that's a physical interaction between two characters, which is for artists like me, which is beginner to mid-tier. God, I'm tiering artists now. Jesus. Anyways, beginner to average artists. That's difficult. That's kryptonite. But I've had some practice, and hopefully it will pay off, because otherwise I will be very sad. I will be a very sad little artist, YouTuber person. Please buy a commission or something. Alright. Yeah, right, let's see. So, oh yeah, also I should throw in some other pages so that I have immediate reference of the way I draw the characters. Also because, like, they are the immediate pages that were before it, so. Eve, as always, inconsistent in her art style. Yeah, well. At least Calvin is consistent in his inconsistency. The biggest thing that I always worry about when I'm doing pages is whether the framing of the pages doesn't get boring. Because, like, the actual art of the characters or the layout of the speech bubbles is fairly easy to modify for me. Like, it's just about placing it in the right spot, which I don't always do. It's something I struggle with still, to this day. But you know, the more you do that, the better you get. The thing with panels is that modifying the panel layout is more fundamental. It changes way more about the entirety of the page. And you can, but you can't really just grab a couple of panels and shuffle them around. Like, you technically can, but it's not really how that works. Alright, speech bubbles. And lastly, light art underneath the panels. I have to say that at least by stream 11, at least I've gotten a little bit comfortable with streaming. At least a little bit of progress. Also, it's possible I'll be doing some placeholder voice acting for a Beyond All Reason announcer for a game mode for a friend. So that might be fun. Don't know how long it will stay in the game, looking at how thick my accent is whenever I try to voice act. Like, it's quite easy to tell where I'm from, but let's say being almost permanently sick with a stuffed nose doesn't help trying to do different voices and accents. So maybe that could be like the idea, just get a bunch of like nose medicine for a recording session, like cold medicine, and just try to do some takes while my nose is not filled to the brim with not being able to say anything. Alright, anyways. Text. Now I have to grab my keyboard again. Logitech. Forget it. Forget it. Yeah, that's more like how he says it, like the entire thing with this previous page is Calvin just trying to explain why he had to kill the two cops, and Eve just completely throws him off with the fact that she doesn't remember his previous little spiel about his religion. He's not interested in talking about God. At least not his God. So, yep, that's a thing. Just know that I feel bad for shouting at you earlier. I think there's a comma in there. Is this the same size of the text? Yeah, it is. Despite it being just an act. There's a funny thing about doing, what's it called? Speed bubbles, because technically, according to every single tutorial I have ever read, seen, any like rulebook slash source book slash guidebook or whatever book on doing manga or comics in general, they always say that for clarity of reading you should do all caps, but I've just kept forgetting it so often that I just decided to switch to just using normal writing, because Otherwise, I would just be really inconsistent, and I decided that despite a different way of doing it being the industry standard, I'm going to just stick to my guns and hope for the best. If it doesn't work, then so be it, that's my funeral. Other if it's too complicated for people to understand. Or like if some lines are misread. Just know that I feel bad for shouting at you earlier, despite it being just an act. Well, should be yeah, if I can, I don't want to obscure the ear too much, so let's place it here. Speed bubbles. What the heck am I looking at? I should go back to work. Or rather, get back to work. Hey, piesku. No, I won't do the speech bubble pointers yet, because that will be added later. Dog. Ow, my wrist. That's not a good sign. Alright, I think we'll end a bit early tonight because I just felt a very not pleasant pain in my wrist and I have to get down to work also tomorrow. Not really tomorrow because tomorrow I have plans, but the day after tomorrow. And we have another live stream then. So I don't want to get myself in a state where I can't draw. So yeah, not fun. Can't really recommend. So yeah, sorry for cutting it short, like almost half an hour early, but it is what it is. At least we have the text done. So yeah, sorry for that. and I'll see you Sunday. Good night, everyone. I hope you had fun while listening today. And yeah, I'll see you next time.